Alright everyone, welcome back to another video, and today what I have for everyone is my full review of the Doogee V30 rugged smartphone. Now, I've been using this device for a good amount of time, and I feel like I've gathered all my thoughts and opinions on it. So y'all know how the story goes. I get the device, I unbox it, I start my review process. Once I feel like I've gathered all my thoughts and opinions, then it's full review time. So today I'm going to walk through all the essential categories I think it's important to consider when thinking about picking up a smartphone or a smart device. And I'm going to share my overall opinions on this device. And then finally, we're going to talk about the price and overall availability and whether or not I can recommend you guys and gals go out there and pick this one up. So without further ado, let's jump into this full review. Now, starting off here, the first thing I want to talk about with everyone is the overall build quality and design of this device right here. Now, in terms of the build quality, this bad boy is built out of aluminum and your different combinations of texturized and smooth plastic. So we got a texturized plastic on the back, kind of like a leather-ish material. Then we have painted metal sides, all right, with aluminum buttons here. So we got aluminum volume rockers and an aluminum power button with an embedded fingerprint scanner. And then we got reinforced plastics around the entire device. So we got reinforced corners. We got a nice protective flap for our Type-C port right here. Okay, we got more reinforced corners down the side here. And we have a SIM tray that you can actually pop out with your fingers here. Let me show y'all this. Actually, it's gonna mess up my SIM if I pull it out. But you can actually put in here 2 nano SIM cards or 1 nano SIM card and 1 micro SD card. So you do have memory expansion on this one. Okay, I do have a dedicated video walking y'all through how to set up your SIM card and what exactly you need to do. Okay, but in terms of the overall build quality on this one, the build quality on this one is top notch in my opinion. It's very rugged, it's very durable, it has a big beefy weight in the hand. Overall build quality on this one is top notch. Overall design on this one is top notch as well. I really do like these rugged style utilitarian type of devices. I like these a lot. Okay, so overall build quality and design on here is top notch indeed. Up next now, let's talk about this display. All right, so up front, dead center here, we have a 6.58 inch 1080 plus 120 hertz IPS LCD display. All right, now I gotta keep it 100 with y'all. I tested this bad boy out at 120 hertz, and again, I couldn't see the difference, so I put it down to 60 hertz to save on battery, right? But that's the technical specifications if you guys and gals want to know. So once again, if I said it kind of quick, it's a 6.58 inch 1080p plus 120 hertz IPS LCD display. In particular, it has a resolution of 2408 by 1080p, giving it a screen density or a PPI of 401 pixels per inch. And it has a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio. So we have a little bit of a stretch ratio here. Okay, but that's all the technical specifications there. And now let's talk about using the display on the day-to-day. So indoors, this is the indoors here, this is the brightness level that I keep it at. So that's like what, about 30%. Outdoors, I do have to max it out, but outdoors it does get the job done and I can use it with little to no issues. Now in direct sunlight, this display is a little bit hard to see even with max brightness, but it's still usable. But indoors here, I have no issues using this display on the day-to-day. So overall, when we talk about this display right here, I have to say it's a really good display. Not top-notch because the visibility outdoors could be a little bit better, but for what it is a really good display. Okay, let's move on now. Let's move on. So up next now, let's dive into a little bit more the hardware and the software on this device right here. So let's talk about all the hardware components first and run them down. So in terms of the hardware, we already touched on the display, but let's run through it one more time. It has a 6.58 inch 1080p plus display. I already went over the resolution. On the rear, we have a triple camera setup. We have a 108 megapixel primary. Okay. We have a 16 megapixel ultra wide. And we have a 20 megapixel night vision sensor. Okay. All the cameras on this device max out at a recording resolution of 1080p 30 FPS, except for the primary 108 megapixel sensor. The primary sensor, the 108 megapixel Samsung sensor, can record in up to 4K at 30 FPS. Okay? Okay. Now, in particular, and I thought this was a nice touch, so I have to reiterate it again, Doogee went ahead and told you the field of view for all the cameras. But I just wanted to know the field of view for the important cameras that I was going to use. Now, the field of view for the 108 megapixel sensor is 90 degrees. Okay? The field of view for the 16 megapixel ultra wide is 130 degrees. And the field of view for the front facing 32 megapixel camera is 90 degrees. Really nice touch that they threw all that in there. So once again, you get 1080p recording across the board, except for the primary sensor, which does record in 4K at 30 FPS. Okay. We already talked about the display. Now, talking about some more hardware here. In terms of the RAM and the storage, we get 8 gigs of physical RAM and 256 gigs of onboard storage. Again, the storage is expandable via a micro SD card, and you can make that micro SD card adaptable, expandable storage. So you can expand the internal storage with the micro SD card. Now, talking about the RAM, you can add virtual RAM with this device up to an additional 7 gigs. So Doogee is advertising 15 gigs of RAM on this device. That's a little bit misleading because it's actually 8 gigs, but you can add an additional 7 gigs of virtual RAM, and that's how they get their 15 gigs. All right, that's that hardware there. All right, now talking about the chipset on board this one, we have the MediaTek Dimensity 900 octa-core CPU. And then we have the Mali G68 MC4 GPU. So this is one of MediaTek's flagship processors and GPUs. Okay? And honestly, it shows. It shows. We're going to talk about performance in a little bit here. Okay? Talking about more hardware, we have dual front-firing speakers on the front. We do have a physical capacitive fingerprint scanner that does work pretty much flawlessly. We do have face unlock via the front facing camera. Okay, now it's 2D face unlock. Okay, but it's more a convenience feature than anything, but it works. Okay, also we have AC Wi-Fi built in here. We do have Bluetooth 5.2 built in on this one. We have NFC support and OTG support. Okay, so fast pairing is available here, and you can also plug and play hard drives and USB flash drives and or external storage if you would like, right? Along with that, this device is mil-spec 810H, shock and drop resistant, and IP68, IP69 waterproof, okay? And it is touting, this is a little suspect, I'm going to explain why later on in the video, but it is touting a 10,800 milliamp hour battery, okay? I don't exactly think it's 10,800 milliamps. I'm going to explain why and show y'all when we get to the battery section. It does have 66 watt fast, and that really is fast, wired charging. And it does have 15 watt wireless charging, okay? And essentially, when we talk about the hardware, that pretty much covers it right there. Now, when we talk about the software on this bad boy right here, we are running a slightly skinned version, okay? As y'all can see, it's not quite stock Android. As you can see, we are running a slightly skinned version of Android 12, okay? Now, that runs through all the hardware, that runs through the software. Now let's talk about the overall performance. Now, the performance on this device has been phenomenal, okay? I haven't had any issues with slowdowns or force closes or crashes or freezes. I haven't had any issues with memory management, okay? Overall performance on this device has been phenomenal, okay? No issues with the performance, no issues whatsoever, all right? And in terms of the hardware and software on the whole, I have to say Doogee has done a great job. So in terms of the hardware and the software and the combination and the performance, I have to say it has been top notch. Top notch indeed. All right. Now let's go ahead and move on to the overall Wi-Fi performance. And this Wi-Fi performance here will also double as a speaker test. So let me go ahead and crank this up. Okay. But as I said before, we have AC Wi-Fi on board here. So we have access to our 2.4 gigahertz and our 5 gigahertz band Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi on here has been, you guessed it, flawless. Okay? And I haven't had any issues. In my about 2 weeks of usage, haven't had any issues. Okay? But let's get into this Wi-Fi performance test. Okay? Now I got one of my good friends' music videos pulled up on YouTube here. Your boy Two Phones. I'll go ahead and drop his links down below in the video description. If you enjoy the music, check out his channel. Give him a subscribe, you know. Alright, but let's check out this Wi-Fi here. So I got some music queued up. Let me go ahead and bring my mic in. This way we can get a really good sound sample. Let me bring my mic in right here. Put it right here. Alright, so we got a really good sample there. And let me go ahead and push play on the music. Now I'm going to let the music play for a little bit. Then we're going to scrub through the video, check the performance, and then I'm going to give y'all my overall thoughts. So let me go ahead and push play. And this is max volume right here. Alright, let's go ahead and scrub through the video, check the overall Wi-Fi performance. Let's scrub back. Scrub back again. Okay, let's scrub forward. Scrub forward again here. Okay. So that pretty much does it for the speaker test as well as the overall Wi-Fi test. Now let me give y'all my overall thoughts here. Let me get out of this. Let me put my mic back on. And let's keep the video going here. So give me 1 second. Okay. So mic reattached. Let's keep moving on with the video here. So my overall thoughts with the Wi-Fi performance, my overall thoughts with the speaker performance and the speaker placement. Now in terms of the Wi-Fi, top-notch Wi-Fi performance, no issues with the Wi-Fi. Talking about the speakers on this bad boy right here, in terms of the volume, it does get loud enough. In terms of the overall sound quality, it is very crisp and clear, but in terms of the bass, it is lacking on the bass department. Now that track that I played for y'all is a very bass heavy, bass hitting track, and y'all can see, I don't know if my mic did it justice. Y'all can see, y'all can hear. I don't know if my mic did it justice, but the bass from these speakers are really lacking. But the overall sound quality, the overall speaker placement, and the overall volume are all really good out of these speakers right here. And you can see with this dual chamber front facing setup, it's extremely hard to muffle either sets of speakers. But you can also see when I covered up one set, these speakers are kind of unbalanced. Okay, so overall, when we talk about the speaker performance, I have to say it's just really good. It could definitely be better. There definitely needs to be some tweaks to the overall bass and the overall balance of the speakers and sound. But overall, it's really good overall speaker placement, really good overall speaker performance. All right. And top-notch overall Wi-Fi performance as well. Let me take my mouse out of here. We don't need my mouse back in there anymore. But moving on now, let's talk about the LTE and the supported bands. Now, I had to pull the bands directly from Doogee's site. So I'll have all the LTE, 5G, 4G, CDMA, GSM bands thrown up on the screen now in post for y'all to check out. I'll leave it up there for about 10 seconds for y'all to check out. But this device should have you covered in terms of 4G LTE bands, and it does support some 5G bands. But officially, this is a GSM unlocked device. So although it does have some CDMA bands, it is officially a GSM unlocked device, meaning you get partial coverage for your CDMA carriers if it works, but GSM carriers should work no problems. So AT&T, T-Mobile, any of their MVNOs should work no problems. And I actually tested it on AT&T and I didn't have any issues. All right, I didn't have any issues whatsoever. And just so y'all can see here, let me show you here real quickly. You can see I do have my data running. If I turn off my Wi-Fi, we are getting 4G LTE right there. No issues whatsoever, and everything works. Okay, just wanted to verify that, because when I did that in my other rugged full review, people was like, oh, you didn't actually use it, you know, you didn't show us it working. live in the video, and I'm like, I showed y'all the screenshots. The screenshots wasn't good enough. Y'all don't believe my screenshots? So I guess I had to show y'all live in the video. And even further still, if you don't believe me here, pull the video back up. You see the video reloads. It's working. Working, no problem. No problems whatsoever. So data works, okay? Text messages works. MMS, picture messages work. No problems on AT&T. Now, I do have it set to 4G LTE. I do not have it set to 5G. 5G is kind of spotty at best. 4G is more reliable, so that's what I set mine to. But yeah, so that goes over the LTE and GSM supported bands on this device, and that shows y'all live in the video that data does work. Okay? And if you check out my configuration and verification video, you can see that phone calls and text messages and MMS work as well. But I just wanted to verify that live in the video for y'all, because I don't know why people wouldn't believe me. I'm all about keeping it straight 100, and I even showed y'all the screenshots. But still, some people just don't believe. It is what it is. But anyway, moving on. Let's talk about the Bluetooth performance now. Now, I already mentioned Bluetooth-wise, we got Bluetooth 5.2 on here. And in terms of the Bluetooth performance, it has been phenomenal. Okay? I haven't had any issues with the Bluetooth. And y'all can see these are some of the headphones that I've connected up, and they all work no problems. Okay? So Bluetooth-wise, no issues. Okay? No issues whatsoever. Now, moving on, let's talk about the GPS performance. GPS performance for me is very important because I rely heavily on my GPS turn-by-turn navigation. Okay? And I'm very happy to report GPS works on here, no problems. I didn't have any issues with turn-by-turn navigation. Anything that needed to take advantage of the GPS module on here worked without issues. Okay? So GPS performance, no problems. Bluetooth performance, no problems. LTE data performance, no problems. Wi-Fi performance, no problems. This is turning out to be an extremely solid device. Solid indeed. All right, let's keep it pushing now. Let's go. Up next, let's talk about another important category. Let's talk about the call quality and the speaker call quality for taking phone calls. Now, I have taken a bunch of phone calls on this device, right? Whether it be over Bluetooth, whether it be with the built-in receiver, whether it be on speakerphone calls, I have taken a bunch of phone calls on this device. I've also taken a bunch of video calls on this device, whether it be Facebook Messenger, whether it be Telegram, whether it be WhatsApp. I've taken a bunch of calls on this device, and I could tell you the call quality through the built-in receiver is top-notch. Crisp, clear, loud, didn't have any issues. The call quality via speakerphone calls, same thing. Crisp, clear, loud, didn't have any issues. All right? A large majority of that comes down to carrier and coverage. And my coverage with AT&T in my area is actually really good. I only have one dead spot with my AT&T free up mobile coverage, and oddly enough, that's one of my favorite places. The only dead spot for me with my free up mobile coverage is in the gym. Sad face. Sad face. But other than in the gym, I have pretty much perfect coverage. All right? And in terms of call quality, I really didn't have any issues. Like I said, speaker calls, perfectly fine. Regular phone calls, perfectly fine. Video phone calls, perfectly fine. I honestly didn't have any issues. No issues whatsoever. So call quality, speaker call quality, top notch. Top notch indeed. But again, keep in mind that relies heavily on your location, your carrier's coverage. Okay, those are the two things that rely heavy on that. Your location and your carrier's coverage. Okay? Now, let's move on. Let's talk about the cameras and my overall experience with the cameras. Now, I already told y'all earlier, but let's reiterate again. The primary camera can record in up to 4K, 30 FPS, and all the other cameras can do 1080p, 30 FPS, right? Now, talking about the photo performance with these cameras, I'd have to say these are some really good cameras, okay? In good to not so good lighting, you can get some decent performance out of these, okay? But in super low lighting, that's where these cameras are going to struggle. And I have to point out, I was kind of bummed out to see that inside of the camera application, there's no dedicated night mode for the camera algorithm. So a lot of these super low light shots that I took, they really suffered, even though that quality was not that bad. The overall camera performance really suffered in super low light, okay? And I feel like that could have been adjusted if they had that algorithm, right? But the overall camera performance for taking photos, other than super low light, has been really good, all right? Outdoors in good to really good lighting, got some phenomenal shots. Indoors in low to moderate lighting, got some really good shots, all right? Went out to eat on my birthday. Y'all know I'm a big foodie. I was able to take some really good food shots, and I had a blast with the family on my birthday. And these were the cameras that I had with me. I had this device and I had my iPhone, and I was comparing the two, and it took some really good shots in terms of photos. Now, jumping over to video performance, y'all know I judge the video performance from 3 particular categories: point and shoot overall video performance, point and shoot audio capture capabilities, and, you know, just overall performance, okay? And I have to report, in terms of videos, this device did a really great job, okay? Whether it was 720p, whether it was 1080p, whether it was 4K, this device is capable of taking some really good video. Now, where this device struggled was with the stabilization, okay? It doesn't help that I have really shaky hands because of my disability. So the stabilization issues were multiplied, you can say. So you are definitely going to need some type of tripod or stabilizer if you want to take steady footage, video footage with this device. But as long as you have a somewhat steady hand, you can get some decent photos with this device. But overall, in terms of video performance, I would have to say it's really good. Overall, in terms of photo performance, I would have to say it's really good. Not quite top notch for the photos because it really suffers in low light. Not quite top notch for the videos because the stabilization really suffers, okay? But other than that, it's really good overall camera performance in my opinion. All right? Now, moving on here, let's talk about the overall gaming performance. And this is another area where this device really shined, okay? Regardless of whatever game I threw at it, I could set the game to almost max settings and it ate through the game like it's nothing. It's nothing. If you would picture this device as being a fat boy and you would picture the games as being an all-you-can-eat buffet, it chewed through them games like it's nothing and went back for seconds. Give me another plate. Give me another plate. I need another plate. Okay? So gaming performance on this device, at least in my opinion, was top-notch and I didn't have any issues. And I gamed for like 3 hours straight. Okay? On the highest settings that I can put it on that this device supports for 3 hours straight. Granted, I cut that down into like a 10-minute or 16-minute video. I'll leave the link to the gaming video down below in the video description, along with all my other coverage. If I remember to throw up a card, I'll throw up a card. But overall gaming performance on this one has been phenomenal. Top notch. No issues. Not even heating issues. I was expecting with all this plastic, you know, to have some heating issues, have some performance dips. No. Or at least not any that I can see with my eyes. But again, I'm not a professional by any means, okay? You know, I'm not an FPS junkie, you know? Overall gaming performance was fluid and snappy, and I really enjoyed myself. Yeah. Let's move on. Now, let's get into another important category. Let's talk about the overall battery life and the overall charge times. And let's get the elephant in the room out of the way up front. So, talking about the battery. Now, Doogee is advertising this bad boy as having a 10,800 milliamp hour battery. Now, all of my battery monitors, let me show y'all just two, my two favorite two. So let's go to Ampere. So you can see on Ampere, it's coming up 10,800 milliamps. That's one, right? Let's go to AccuBattery, okay? You can see AccuBattery, go over to health, it's coming up 10,800 milliamps. But I don't believe it's 10,800 milliamps. You can see here via my testing, okay, I think it's something close to like 5,000 or 6,000 milliamps, because it kind of, when you get to 20%, the rest of that battery dies super quickly, right? So it's chugging along till you get to like 20% remaining, and then it really just like dips. Like you can say this device was like, you know, a sugar rush, and then that sugar ran out and it just crashes. So I don't actually believe that this device has a 10,800 milliamp hour battery. I think it's more closer to 5,000 or 6,000. Doogee, man, come on now. You ain't got to lie, Doogee. You ain't got to lie. Just tell us the actual battery size that's in here and keep it 100. Just like I said to Motorola, you ain't got to lie, Motorola. Just tell us the actual battery size and keep it pushing. All right? But that does not take away from the overall phenomenal battery life. Okay? You can easily get through a full day of heavy usage and get anywhere from like 10 hours of screen on time and upwards. In my particular testing, I'll throw up the screenshots for y'all, I was getting between 12 and 15 hours of screen on time. That's with really heavy usage, okay? Easily getting through a 24-hour day or a 12-hour work day with no issues, okay? And in some cases, like I'm on track right now to get like 3 days of usage. You can see I've already done 30 hours and I still got another 60 hours left. I'm on track to get like just over 3 days of usage. All right. So the fact that I don't think the battery is actually 10,000 milliamps doesn't actually take away from the fact that this device gets phenomenal battery life. Now, let's talk about the other big thing in the room when we talk about battery. Let's talk about charge times. As I said earlier, this bad boy supports 66 watt fast wired charging, and this thing fills up like a beast. Like a beast. And again, I'll link up my video coverage down below. I did a charging test wired. I did a charging test wirelessly. And I'll link that up for y'all to check out. But it is a lot faster charging with your device on versus charging with your device off. I was very surprised to see that, because typically your device charges the fastest when it's off, and it charges a little bit slower when it's on. Oh no, 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 no. Not this bad boy right here. Oh no. The fastest charge time I got with this device on was what, an hour and 50 minutes? And it peaked at like 3 hours, depending on the percentage that it was at when I put it on the charger. For the size battery, that is phenomenal. All right. And, you know, slightly slower than that, it peaked at 2 hours. So I got anywhere from an hour and 50 minutes to a full charge to just over 3 hours. That is really, really fast charging. And it caught me by surprise. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And if you check out my video coverage, you can see just how surprised I was. Wait a minute, it's not supposed to be that fast. Wait a minute. But the overall charge times is phenomenal. The overall battery life is phenomenal. So even though I'm very suspicious over whether or not it actually has a 10,800 milliamp hour battery, that still doesn't detract away or take away from the fact that the charge times are phenomenal, especially when you consider the size battery that might be in here, and the overall battery life is phenomenal. Okay? Now, let's move on to the final part of this review. Let's talk pricing. Let's talk final thoughts. Let's talk overall recommendations. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I do have to let everyone know this was another product that came in via the Amazon Vine program. Meaning this product came into the channel free of charge. Okay? Now, there actually was a shipping mistake, and I actually received the wrong device, but I spoke to my rep, and they were like, nah, you can go ahead, you can keep it, it's all good. So I was like, oh, word? Okay, I'm gonna review it anyway. So, although I got the wrong device, I still put out the review. Now, that being said, I can't put out a written review on Amazon because it's the wrong device. I'm not gonna talk about and share my experiences for one device when I didn't get to use the device. So, I'm not gonna put up a written review for this device on Amazon because this is not the device I was supposed to receive. But as I said, I spoke to my rep. I got everything worked out, so I don't have to worry about that. But I still got to keep it straight 100 with y'all because y'all my people, man. I ain't going to lie to y'all. I'm going to keep it straight 100 with y'all. I don't really lie to anybody. Don't ask me a question if you don't want an honest answer or honest to the best of my ability. I ain't going to do it. But yeah, so in terms of pricing, this came into the channel free of charge. And pretty much after this coverage, I get to do whatever I want with it. Yeah. And I got somebody, I think this device will be perfect for them, and I think they're absolutely going to love it. So I know who I'm going to hit up about this device, and I think they're going to love it. But that being said, in terms of overall pricing and availability, okay, looking on Amazon, this bad boy is going for $530. It was $540, but it has come down $10 since I received the device. Now, looking at the Doogee website, it is a little bit cheaper than that, but it retails for something like $600 or $599, but it was on sale for something closer to that $530 price point. Okay. But at that price, $530, can I recommend this device? I'm going to have to say yeah. If you want an overall really solid, rugged package that can take a licking and keep on kicking, can't go wrong with this. Phenomenal battery life. Super fast charge times, okay? Really good overall speakers, really good overall cameras, really good overall software performance, top-notch software performance, okay? Really good overall call quality, okay? Can't really go wrong with that at that $530 price point, all right? So this is like what? Mid-range, entry-level, flagship performance. And you're getting cameras that are slightly below the flagships, but battery life and charge times that will eat the flagships alive in a much more ruggedized package. Can't go wrong with that. So, can I recommend y'all go out there and pick this device up at that price? I would have to say yes. Yes, indeed. Is this the perfect device? No. Does it need some improvements? Oh, yes. But for what it is and what it offers and the price that it's going for, do I feel it's worth it? I would have to say yes. Yes, indeed. All right. That pretty much does it for this full review of the Doogee V30. As always, I hope you guys and gals enjoyed the video. I hope y'all found it helpful. If you did, y'all know what to do. Please help your boy out and give the video a thumbs up. If you would like to see more coverage like this, also feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you click off the notification bell icon right next to it so you guys and gals get notified when I publish new videos. Also, feel free to follow me across all the social media platforms. I'll link up all my social medias down below in the video description as well. This way you are guaranteed to get notified when I publish new videos, because I do try to publish my videos across all the social medias. So y'all know when new videos come out, and I try to drop new videos every Friday when I can. Okay? So please follow me. Okay? Turn on notifications. You should be good to go. Alright? If this video piqued your interest and you would like to know where you can pick up this device at a really great price, all the affiliated buy links will be available down below in the video description, along with all of my extended coverage on this device. And as the name implies, when you use those affiliated links, I do get a small percentage of kickback that I do put back into the channel at no additional cost to you guys and gals. So down below in the video description will truly be like a one-stop shop for you guys and gals, and you should be good to go. Alright? This whole video here today was recorded using the rear-facing primary 12 megapixel camera on the Samsung Galaxy S10e in 1080p at 60 FPS with professional external audio hooked up, and I am once again using my professional studio lights. Okay, so please let me know what you think of the overall video quality. Please let me know what you think of the overall audio quality, and please let me know what you think of the overall performance of the device in general. Let's have a nice respectful conversation about the device down below in the comments. And as always, if there are any questions that I did not answer with my coverage that you guys and gals would like to know more about, please leave those questions down below in the comments as well. I do try to answer all questions in a timely fashion. Alright? Alright. I hope everyone is having a great day. I hope you guys and gals are staying safe out there. And I will catch everyone in the next one. We are out of here. Have a good one, everybody. Peace. And once again, my bad. Shout out to my boy Two Phones for providing the music for the video. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it so much. Again, I'll leave links to his channel down below in the video description as well. If you like what you heard, check him out. Alright? Alright. Have a good one, everybody. We're out of here. Peace.